Here we are. Hey, everybody. So it's the holidays or very close to, and for so many of us, this means extra stress, extra work, trying to accommodate everybody else's needs, trying to keep people happy. And then what happens? We end up with symptom flare ups, eating things we shouldn't eat, and ending up feeling horrible. So, I want to talk to you about that today and tell you how I got out of the symptom swamp. So, hey, everybody, I'm Ricki Heller from rickiheller.com, and I help people on restricted diets learn to love their food again so they can stick with it for good, lose their symptoms, and get their lives back. Hey, nice to see you. So this happened to me too. I mean, every year around the holiday time, I would kind of dread it, to be honest, because I I knew that I was going to overindulge, and even for me, who I still follow the confines of the Candida diet, so I'm not eating sugar and all those things, but I would still overindulge and eat more of the stuff that I could eat, right? And inevitably, that combination was this cocktail of not being home as much, not prepping my own meals as much, finding things wherever I was, eating more of all the sweet things that I made, and the stress. That combination every single year for like the first, I'm going to say like even 7 years of my Candida journey, my rash would flare. And some years it would just be a little bit, and some years it would be a lot. And there was one year where I really got freaked out because it got so bad that I went back to my naturopath. I said, "Is it coming back? Is it coming back?" And I thought the whole full-blown Candida was going to come back. But every year, some years it was faster than others. I would treat it again. I would go back to an incredibly clean diet. Things would clear up. I'd be fine for like 12 and a half, or sorry, 11 and a half months of the year. We don't have a 13-month year. So 11 and a half months of the year. And in the past couple of years, this hasn't happened. And I have gotten to a place where, what I call the symptom swamp is when we have this focus on our symptoms to the exclusion of really living our lives fully. And so for me, it was this sense every year, this foreboding and this dread that my symptoms were going to flare up. And that was what I was focusing on, trying to avoid it, trying to control what I ate, and being so conscious of that that I wasn't really enjoying the holidays, right? And so for me to get out of that symptom swamp, I realized in the past couple of years, no flare ups, nothing. And even if it had happened, I was in a different place and it wouldn't have mattered at all. And so I want to tell you what changed for me to get to that place. So when I first started, if you are on a diet because of health reasons, if you're following an anti-candida diet or some other diet, and you may find the same thing happens, the first step that really made a huge difference, and it was sort of like a leap ahead in terms of how well I felt, was following the right diet, finding the right diet, but then following the right diet. So my specific diet was not one of the conventional anti-candida diets in the sense that I didn't do what a lot of these gurus tell you to do, which is cut out all carbs. And by that, they actually mean starches because regular vegetables are carbs. Greens are considered carbs from a nutritional point of view, but they meant cut out starches like starchy vegetables like potatoes, grains, every single fruit, and so on. I didn't do that. And I even ate tofu and tempeh, which a lot of practitioners will tell you not to eat because you can have reactions to them. I ate beans and legumes, which a lot of practitioners will tell you not to eat because you can have reactions to them. But for my body, that worked and that allowed me to heal. And so I moved by leaps and bounds when I made that first transition to a healthier diet and then stuck with it. And over the years, that's what stabilized my health during most of the year, but I still had these little flare ups. And then a couple of years ago, I started working with a life coach. So, for those of you who don't know, a life coach is someone who helps you basically to maximize your life. So, they are not a therapist and they're not like a medical practitioner, but you look at what are your goals and how are you living your life and which parts of your life would you want to change and improve, or maybe you're a little dissatisfied with. and you set goals and you work towards that. And this is someone who keeps you accountable and also who helps you with strategies and tools and all of this kind of stuff. So nothing to do with my Candida diet, you would think. Well, as we began to delve into where were the areas that I was holding myself back, where were the areas that I felt perhaps I wasn't as good as I should be? Was I comparing myself to other people online? What about self-care? Like this whole concept of self-care. When we think of self-care, most people think of, taking a walk in the woods, taking a bubble bath, reading a favorite book, and so on, which, yes, is one part of self-care, but we looked at it much more deeply in terms of truly nourishing your soul and what is it for each individual that is going to make them feel most alive and most like they are themselves. And self-care has a lot to do with honoring yourself, honoring your own health, and valuing yourself. And so this is an ongoing process. I think it's a lifelong process. And I would say I'm not even where I want to be. But again, it was that progress as I began to focus more on living my best life and not focus so much on the food and the symptoms. That's when those things got better. So I would say, if that's you, that might be something to look at beyond the food. Look at things beyond the food. And for me, that was one of the main reasons I decided when I put together my program, Hungry for Health, I included coaching in that. So we have 2 coaching calls a month where we can work on those kinds of issues, because I know for me, that was absolutely essential. I would not have made the progress I did otherwise. And so I would ask you this question, if do you know what it is you're supposed to eat to be healthy? If you do, why aren't you sticking with it 100% of the time? There's another reason besides the food, right? Most of us already know what to eat, but there are other factors that affect our behavior and affect what we do and how we feel. And those are the things that if you've already got the diet and you know what you're supposed to do, then you want to also include some of those other things, because those together are going to get you where you want to be in terms of your diet and your health. At least they did for me. So I would love to hear what you think. Please do leave a comment below and let me know. And I want to let you know that the doors to Hungry for Health are open, or applications are open. It's an application process because it's a small group and I do want to meet every person and ensure that they're a good fit for the program. I would love to hear from you if this is something you'd like to learn about. This is a 4-month program. We start on January 5th, and we are going to go deep into all the factors behind why you slip up and how to stick with your healthy diet so that you can get to the place where you don't have those symptoms interfering with your life anymore and you can get on and live your best life. So if you'd like to book a call, it's a free call and totally no obligation. rickiheller.com/H4H, letter H, number 4, letter H. And I would love, love, love to speak to you. Let me know what you think. I hope this was helpful. And I look forward to talking to some of you. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week and talk to you again soon.